Welcome to a new emission of our program Money Means Business. As we always say, business means money, stability and business, and a lot more mean a lot of money. I'm Nermin Nazim, broadcasting live from Cairo. Well, there's a lot happening, has been happening and happening this week, and every week there are new developments. Some are positive, many are positive. Well, some, definitely can be negative, but we are just proceeding with the follow-up of the events. And we do have what happened with the ship that is blocking the Suez Canal that moves, is moving slightly, unclear when it will refloat. Efforts to dislodge a giant container ship blocking the Suez Canal had allowed its stern and rudder to move on Saturday, but it remained unclear when it could be refloated, the head of the Canal Authority said. The 400-meter-long Ever Given became wedged diagonally across the southern section of the canal amid high winds early on Tuesday, disrupting global shipping by blocking one of the world's busiest waterways. About 15% of the world's shipping traffic transits the canal, and hundreds of vessels are waiting to pass through the waterway once the blockage has been cleared. Suez Canal Authority Chairman Osama Rabia said that he hoped it would be necessary to resort to removing some of the 18,300 containers from the ship to lighten its load, but that strong tides and winds were complicating efforts to free it. The ship's stern began to move towards Suez, and that was a positive sign until 11 p.m. at night, but the tide fell significantly and we stopped, he said. We expect, as he said, that at any time the ship could side and move from the spot it is in. Dredgers had moved some 20,000 tons of sand from about its bow by Friday. A Dutch firm working to free the vessel said it could be freed by the start of next week if heavier tugboats, dredging and a high tide succeeded in dislodging it. Tugging attempts restarted on Saturday afternoon. Further efforts were planned on Saturday night and Sunday morning, three sources with knowledge of canal operations said. Though, they added, it could be necessary to remove more sand from around the ship to free it. We aim to get it done after the weekend, but everything will have to work out exactly right on that. That's said by Peter Berdowski, chief executive. He told the Dutch TV program. He owns the company that is going to salvage, helping in the salvage, and that was brought in this week to help with efforts by the Suez Canal Authority to dislodge the ship. And we're going for a short break, after we should be coming back.
Authority chief said today that strong winds was not the main reason for the grounding of the MV Ever Given cargo ship in the waterway. Sam Rabia said at a press conference in Suez that strong winds and weather factors were not the main reasons for the ship's grounding, adding that there may have been technical or human errors. Asked when the ship could be afloat again, he suggested it was possible today or tomorrow, depending on the ship's responsiveness to the tides. The MV Ever Given, which is longer than 4 football fields, has been wedged diagonally across the canal since Tuesday, blocking one of the world's most vital waterways in both directions. The Canal Authority chief said over 300 vessels are now treading water at either end of the canal, which links the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. Addressing journalists in the Suez, Rabia outlined Egypt's efforts with tugboats and excavators to free the bow and propeller of the mega ship in order to reopen the canal. Rabia noted that on 10:30 p.m. Friday, the propellers had been able to spin, although not at full speed. However, they are jammed again due to the changing tides, and rescuers had to resort to excavators again overnight to continue the dredging process. Rabia also noted that the blockage had caused no fatalities or pollution. The ship's grounding is holding up some $9.6 billion worth of cargo each day between Asia and Europe, according to Lloyd's List data. Rabia estimated that Egypt is losing some $12 to $14 million in revenue from the canal for each day it is closed. The United States also said it was ready to send support, including a team of U.S. Navy experts. Rabia thanked the U.S. for its support, along with China and the United Arab Emirates.
Welcome back again to Money Means Business, and we have with us online Dr. Hamdi Barghout, marine transportation expert. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Hello, Dr. Hamdi.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Oh, okay. Dr. Hamdi, there is the problem of the vessel, the container ship, actually, that is blocking the Suez Canal, and a lot of efforts, strenuous efforts, have been exerted in order to move it. What's the situation, and what are the repercussions of such a story?
Well, actually, the situation now is unknown because they said it's afloat, and it will gonna take a few hours more, and it will be afloat, and this old problem will be sorted out very soon. But after that, they are facing now also some difficulties on afloating this vessel for the time being, and I think it will going to take more time for the rescue operations, taking care of the sackage of this vessel. The reason for this is the number one, the huge volume of the cargo on board, the 20,000 TEU, and the heavy load of the vessel itself, 200 to 24,000 tons, and the length of the vessel, the 400 meter. All of these difficulties is making more difficulties to the rescue operations.
Yeah.
However, I think, in my opinion, it will going to take more hours to be afloat.
So what is the reason behind that? There are lots of, and of course, like there are people trying to spread rumors, malign rumors and stuff like that. That always, of every event or every problem, of course, things come out of like that. Especially that there are 321 vessels that are waiting to pass the international passage of Suez Canal.
Yes, the problem is by the stockage of this vessel is causing a hell of problems all over the world, not only in Egypt or only the Suez Canal.
Yes.
However, we heard about the 1.2 million barrels is stacking on board of almost 90 vessels or something, and the remaining is containers and general cargo vessels, whereas it's also loaded with some very needed cargo to Europe and as well the other convoys is coming from Portside to Suez, which is also starting in Portside waiting area as well as in the lakes, whereas we have about 13 vessels already left Portside for Ismailia and then stuck there. Actually, the total number is reaching 300, and it's increasing as well. The problem for that is that the as long as the stockage is taking more days, the more vessels will be waited for this rescue operation, and this will affect the totally the economic of the countries, whereas they are going to receive this cargo. Actually, most of this cargo is going to Europe, and it's badly needed there. Either it is production lines or spare parts or whatever, as well as the crude oil, whereas it's needed for some sort of heating operations for the housing and the other usage of the oil, the crude oil, and that's why, if we look at the optimistic look of this, it gives Egypt actually a new rule in the area, and this rule means that we should have to give some attention to the rule of the Egyptian of Egypt as a whole for the coming, for the international trade for the coming years. That because they will never find another solution for transiting this trade coming from the Far East to Europe and vice versa. The Suez Canal is playing a very important role for the international trade, and it will keep like that for longer time with no competition whatsoever. Because if there is a competition, it should be used nowadays. Because we have 4 days now stoppage, and the vessels are increasing. Numbers of the vessels are increasing. Regardless the other solution, which is the North route or the African route, it's all of this is not the right solutions for the international trade passing through the Suez Canal. And we are all hoping that the rescue operation is going to be completed within a few coming hours, because they said the third attention is giving about 3 to 4% hope that it is already moving. The vessel is already moving, and the bow is afloat for the time being. And I think it will going to take a few hours to be sorted out.
Yes, and we join our voices with you and everybody in hoping that the problem is solved as fast as possible in these few hours. Thank you very much, Dr. Hamdi Barghout, marine transportation expert. Thank you very much for being with us. And we have with us our guest, Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourism expert. Welcome, sir, with us. Well, there's a lot happening in this sphere, and good news. We had the bad news at the beginning. That is really that has also good news in freeing the ship and all. But then we're going to talk about what's happening with us here. Before delving into that, we go for a short break. After we should be returning back. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away.
حلوة وكلمتين حلوة يا بلدي غنوة حلوة وغنوتين حلوة يا كلمة حلوة وكلمتين حلوة يا بلدي غنوة حلوة وغنوتين حلوة يا بلدي
And welcome back again with our guest, Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourism expert. Well, a lot has been happening recently, and we're going to have a great event in these coming few days that everybody and worldwide are waiting for. The passage of the great, the kings and queens of Egypt.
Royal mummies.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is an event that personally I've been waiting for since they announced the moving of the royal mummies from the Egyptian Museum to the Museum of Civilization. It will put Egypt again in the highlight,
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it will remove all the bad highlights that we had in the past few days since the problem of the ship in the Suez Canal and then the train accident. And well, this is life. It's good things.
There's the
and
good and the bad,
things.
definitely.
Yes, it's like waves. It's up and down. So it happens everywhere, all over the earth. Actually, I've seen some statistics that in Europe and America they have more train accidents than we have here. Although they use the latest technology, but at the end, mistakes happen. So I hope the parade of the royal mummies will be a great event, that something is...
We do have some of the rehearsals here. You know, they've been rehearsing that since, let's say, like last year, actually, a lot of
Yes.
rehearsals at night taking place, and then carefully choosing the actors in this procession.
and also all the work done in Tahrir Square
Definitely.
with the with
Glamorous.
yeah, it's it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The lighting, this obelisk, King Ramses II obelisk, and the rams around it. It's amazing. The square looks...
Light works and all that, you know. I
It
mean, when
is.
coming to work tonight, actually passing, you know, like from, you know, would like to go after going, you know, going home.
I will.
Watching it, it's beautiful. You see the lights in the sky, you know how it is.
I
Yeah.
will. I saw the lights, so when I finish here, definitely I'll go there. This is just to remember where were we exactly 10 years ago in this particular place, and now how does it look like. That will give you an idea where were we and where are we now. We are definitely going up. We're definitely moving forward despite all the bad things happened and all the problems we faced. So for the parade, the Egyptian Museum, now they started to move some of the important pieces in it to the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Yeah.
Almost most of the King Tut collection is gone, except for some pieces, and of course still the famous mask still there. This is also getting ready for the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, which also we all looking for, and not just us, it's the whole world.
Definitely.
And I'm saying this, and I know the whole world is eager for this event. Before the pandemic, when the tourism was working,
Yes.
every now and then we had requests and questions about the when are you going to open it, how can we attend, what is going on. So everybody's eager to see it. Even now, some of the tourists come to Egypt because we had some tourists coming to Egypt, especially in the past month or two, especially from Russia, from South America, because in some people are really want to travel. Most of the world is closed, so Egypt is open and we are welcoming everybody. And with the low numbers of the infections of the COVID-19 here, that makes it a good destination. Even in Europe, even in Switzerland, I had a friend, Egyptian friend who lives in Switzerland. He came for 3 weeks vacation here because he cannot stand there living with all the closures around him. So he told me that Egypt is on the green list for traveling for Swiss nationals, and also for the tourists from, especially from Russia, and again, as I said, from South America. So these tourists, when they come to Cairo, they ask about going to visit the Grand Egyptian Museum, even they know it's closed, but at least they want to see it from outside.
Yeah.
And with the moving of the mummies to the Museum of Civilization, some say why, and they should be
Put in the gem.
put in the gem
Yeah.
or left in the Egyptian old Egyptian Museum. But I know the old Egyptian Museum will be closed for renovation, and it will be totally renovated after
Okay.
they open the gem.
Yeah.
And then we will have the gem. And I say, why don't we have 3 or 4 museums? Why not? If you go to any city in the world, I mean, if you go to New York or Paris or London or Rome, you'll find many museums.
Definitely specialized also.
Specialized also, so yes. So why don't we have different kinds of museums that attract different kinds of travelers, especially Cairo. Cairo is huge, and Cairo is not just having tourists. It's having, I mean, there are people who come for business, people who come for leisure, people who come for official meetings, and they come more than one time. So why? So it's easy that they can come, and each time they go to a different place, because okay, they come for a business meeting or for an official meeting, but that's in the morning. The afternoon or the evening, they do some leisure for themselves. So, and also we're having another museum in the new capital, and a
What
new
kind of
opera.
collections is going to be housing there?
Not clear yet, but I think also to be about Egyptian history, different eras. Yes, from the ancient Egyptians, Romans, Coptic, Islamic. So I mean, all the times of the Egyptian history. And I think we can also have some other museums, like the Museum of Royal Carriages that reopened again a few months ago. It's very interesting. I haven't been there yet, but I saw the pictures and I will go there someday. We also have a Museum of Textile. We can have different kinds of museums for different kinds of people. We can have a museum that's specialized for prehistoric, museum specialized for fossils. We have
What kind of publicities are just done for that? For example, when the tourist comes here, well, there are certain museums, especially the Egyptian Museum, the old one, or they go to Luxor, Aswan Mummification Museum, Nubian Museum, or Alexandria, the Greco-Roman, or the new ones that are being in Hurghada, different museums with different themes. so would that be included? Because how, like, would they, some, like, are following up, some are not following up that, so how would they know how to choose where to go?
Well, first of all, that need for us people working in the tourism sector to rethink and redesign our programs based on the new facts, based on the new museums. Now, what we call the classic itineraries, tourists go to what we call a full-day Saqqara pyramids. Right now, with all the discoveries in Saqqara, I say that people can easily spend a day in Saqqara, because Saqqara is not just the pyramid. There are many beautiful tombs and small museum for Imhotep, and then when the new museum is open, and when with the new way of visiting the Great Pyramids, with all the, now they are removing some of the buildings around it, so it will give it again the greatness should be around it. So I would say easily people can spend just 3 days in this area, in Saqqara, pyramids, and the Grand Egyptian Museum. And you still have the Coptic area and still have the Islamic area. So I would think in the next couple of years, people can come and stay at least 5 days easily around Cairo itself. Then go for a cruise, or Luxor, or An Sharm, and Hurghada, and many places. So that needs, we need to rearrange the programs. That need a big marketing campaign to reintroduce Egypt. We need to have stories for the people to tell them. So we should have like a visitor center in each site. People go have to see a movie about the site, how it was built, how it was discovered. It's the story. Create a story around every place, because this is something that is happening outside.
Let me comment on that from someone I met in the old market in Khan Khalili. She's Russian from television, like us, so we could connect. And she said she went, by mere coincidence, to one of the galleries there. And she asked them to make her she wanted to have a photo session with the yashmak or the bor'a, that we have these things for tourists, because they're not worn by us anymore. But then she wanted something all embroidered, and some like one of the designers there of especially Bedouin and Egyptian outfits did it for her by hand all, and she was really very happy with it. And she said, we Russians, do have actually spending power. So she found something that she liked on the internet in Egypt. So she decided for 5 days, she had 5 days off. She came to Egypt right away. She took a ticket and came there. She said, why don't you have like advertising or put there something in Russian that we have this, because Russian tourists go there, they don't know where to go exactly. But then when there is something that shows what's there in Russian, then they'll head to these places. So there is like a clientele that we have to attract. Another remark she made, she went to the Gems Museum, the one in Alexandria, the Jewelry Museum, and she said,
Royal Jewelry Museum.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but then the thing, they need to know more information. She sees pieces and she wants to know about each piece, the story. So there should be the story, where it's made, or like who wore it, or like all that is not written, and these people care very much, as you said, the story behind it.
Yes, well, this is absolutely right.
So I think this is effort that should be done.
It's always the story. Well, if we're talking about the Royal Jewelry Museum,
yes.
I've been there. It's amazing. It's great, but I agree that it's missing the information, and now the information is It's easy. Well, everybody now has smartphones.
Yeah.
So if you can just, beside every piece, they can put a QR code that with my mobile, I just put it, and then I have
The story.
the story in front of me about
Yeah.
any piece I want.
Yeah.
I will not say have special equipment and rent it, and we don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody has smartphone. They can do this in all the museums, and it's very, very easy. They can have all the museums and all the sites with Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
because, well, I know that my guides friends will hate me for this, but tourism worldwide, this is the direction.
Yeah. That is
Is-
heading to.
Exactly, it's going towards technology. In Europe now and in America, most of the travel companies are working only outbound. Nobody's doing inbound anymore. It's just because what you need is just your smartphone, you book your ticket, you book your hotel, you book your transportation, everything through the internet. Here it's a little bit not that easy yet, but someday it will be. So,
It should be heading this way too.
and it should be heading this way.
Yeah.
And that's why I hope in the future we can have more facilitations for this kind of tourism. People come, they don't have to come in groups or with travel companies. Although I personally, I would love them to come with the travel companies, but well, sooner or later, this will be happening. So we need more hotels, we need more transportation to everywhere. We need to facilitate the lives of the tourists coming. As I said, you don't need to spend billions of people of money. I'm sorry, for equipment. All you need is just QR code. Use the technology that people
And then he
have.
can see it in his own language.
Exactly, and it's happening now. If you go to the museums, the Louvre, you can just have a QR code with your mobile, and then you have all the information you need. But it's how to do it. It's how to introduce it. We need storytellers.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago in the States, I was in Atlanta, and they told me to go and see the museum of the biggest soft drinks company in the world, and the first one. It's very known.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I went. First of all, the entrance ticket price was, I think, 5 or 6 times the entrance ticket of the pyramids.
Yeah.
The greatest monument ever built by a human. Okay, I went there. It's nothing but the cans of this brand and the evolution of this brand from the day it was invented until today, and well, I have to say I enjoyed it, but it's how you introduce, how you say the story, how you attract
This
the
is
people.
it. I think we
This
have
is
to
it.
invade the internet more, because, like the lady
Exactly.
said, I saw something in a shop in Egypt that I liked very much, and one of the things, maybe on Instagram, or so she decided to come, and like get the thing herself or look for more.
Exactly.
And as she said, we should be having more, attracting more tourists of certain, like nothing is in Russia, for example. We know that Russians like to go to Hurghada or Sharm el-Sheikh, or it's not categorization, because anybody can come anywhere, can go anywhere. So it's like to be ready for the different nationalities when they come, and to know how to talk to them when they come.
Exactly. Give them what they want.
Need, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to drop the stereotype of the people coming just to relax or to see the monuments. There are many things that they can see. We need to show our culture, show the people, not just the places, not just the sites,
Yeah.
the people. our dresses, our way of life, our food, our well,
We have
everything.
in Tanta here, also like they're exhibiting there, like the museum, the different artifacts. But you know what? As you said, today's life and from the old times. What Egyptians ate and what they're eating. I remember one of the very important and very respectable magazines that is, that comes every 6 months. Actually, I wouldn't really say the name because that would be this. Even is sold in London in the museum there, and every time it gets like if you want a doctorate, each big article, or the whole thing is about one issue. It could be the food, it could be Egyptian cinema, and it's in English and Arabic, and they give you the background of everything. It's like a PhD thesis. When you read it, you can find everything because it's in depth. And all the people, are researchers who are writing that. So it's amazing. As you said, like the Egyptian food, that could be. Something could be done, like there are restaurants everywhere, but this is the Egyptian food, and we do have special ways of making the molokhia and the food and the beans, and they're just cooked differently.
Everything, yes.
Yeah, from all times, what the fisikh, of course, there is for some people rotten fish, but then it's good. For some they can eat it. Like there should be something. I don't know how that could be done, but then this is like the Egyptian. I don't know if it's going to be a museum and maybe something with it, that has the different.
Yes, why not? And then have like a corner or courses for the people to come and learn how to
and to taste, also.
Exactly. Well, everything, all the arts, even belly dancing. It's all over
There's
the world.
schools all over, and here, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to use all these things to create what I would call Egypt mania.
Yeah.
Each country, they are introducing their culture to the rest of the world, trying to attract them. So the Japanese, they introduce their foods, the samurai, their martial arts,
The
Italians,
dance,
French,
yeah.
everybody. So, and we are a very rich culture, so we should use that and
make highlights.
And that needs not just marketing, that needs also to use our soft power, which is the movies.
Okay, we'll talk
the
about that later.
theories.
We go for a short break, after which we'll see how to just capitalize on the Egypt mania.
Yes.
We're going for a short break, after which we'll be coming back. Stay tuned to us, don't go away.
Egypt's culture has thousands of years of recorded history. In every major city, you'll find traditions that remain from the time of the pharaohs. Cruising on the Nile, Ramadan in Egypt, Eid, and also shopping. All have a different flavor. Explore Egypt on Nile TV International.
We're back again to My Name is Business and how to capitalize on Egypt mania.
Well, we were talking about using the soft powers of Egypt, the cinema, the TV series, and theaters. At one time, that was starting from the 30s and 40s and 50s onwards, the cinema of Egypt did a major role for the, not the world, but at least the Arab world, that it gave the Egyptian culture, it sent it to all over the Arab world.
Yeah.
So in some countries, now they can talk with Egyptian accent.
Yeah.
Because of the movies and the cinema and the theaters, it was one of the main income for Egypt, because people were traveling to Egypt to attend the theater shows with the great Egyptian actors.
Yeah.
Fuad al-Muhandis, Shurukar, many. Now, I don't see any more theater. I don't know why.
For some time, actually, like during the past era, let's see, like there was stagnation in movies, not up to the level.
No.
In theater, all that, like now and then you see something that is worthwhile. But now, like that is all like past. But now, there is a movement, I think, that is again, trying to just again, like capitalize on the past.
Well, I hope we have talented actors,
Yeah.
we have talented writers, we have talented artists everywhere. So I hope we see good movies, because sometimes before, 10, 15 years, all the movies were about the bad side of Egypt. And
Yeah.
that gave a very bad impact for the viewers out of Egypt. Okay, we can show life in Egypt, but we don't highlight the bad side.
There's everywhere, the ghettos and
Everywhere.
slums and everything, like nobody's
Exactly.
just, only like putting all the films on that. But
So-
like doing this is really like, it's frustrating. I think this is entertainment as part of the truth, you should be entertaining. Now I just,
Exactly.
do feel after work and all the pressure of life, I need something that makes me laugh. I need something that is light. I need something that is also informative, but nice. I don't need, let's say, depression.
Exactly.
Because it's
yes.
there everywhere.
Exactly.
We can
And
find
that's why they call it soft power.
Yeah.
Look to Hollywood. I think Hollywood is the greatest weapon for America.
it. Yeah.
It spreads out the American culture all over the world with the movies.
Yeah.
So we can do this.
That'd be a great catalyst.
Exactly, yes. Until now, there's this famous beach in Marsa Matruh called Shati El Gharam,
Yeah.
the Love Beach. That's just because
Of the film.
of a film, of
Yeah,
a movie.
yeah, yeah.
People come to ask about where did this movie was shot. I want to go there. I want to see
Yeah.
it. Even in America, they have museums about the famous movie stars. They have this
Path of
famous
fame,
street,
yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
in
that's true.
Hollywood with the stars. These things create mania. If you put them.
I think we should recreate
beside
that, but our way.
Exactly. Well, I'm not. I don't mean that we do the same things, but we have
Definitely.
culture, we have,
We have to put this in mind
talents.
that we could, capitalize on
and
that.
until now, anyone in the Arab world wants to become famous,
Yeah.
he needs to come to Egypt.
Definitely.
They need to sing in Egypt or sing
In order to be
Egyptian,
known, like
in order to be known.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are very good actors in everywhere, but they're not that known because they didn't come to. So Egypt is still the beacon of the Arab culture.
Okay,
So,
we have less than 1 minute, so like to wrap it up.
and just quickly, these things create demand for tourism to Egypt. So I hope for the Royal Mummies parade, it will be a great event. It will be a world-class event. I'm looking forward for it. And again,
I think all of us.
we need, we
Yeah.
need to arrange our programs to match these changes that are happening, especially when we open the new capital. There will be other attractions there, like not just a museum, but a big amusement park, something like Disneyland. So a lot is happening, and well, we hope for the best, and we hope all the bad days will go quickly.
Mr. Ahmed Balad, thank you very much for being with us. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
having you as always. And
Thank
we're
you very
looking
much.
forward to the developments, and we'll just, have more to come.
We will,
hopefully.
definitely.
Of
we
the
will.
good days. So come to Egypt. Actually, this is not only an invitation, there is a lot for everybody. They can find whatever they're just looking for in Egypt, the microcosm of the whole universe, and not my words. Actually, these are just writers and philosophers of old. So until we see you again next week, God bless Egypt, God bless Egyptians, God bless our army, our police, our white army, and as I quote from the Holy Quran, ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين, enter Egypt, God willing, safe, and from the Holy Bible, Mubarak Sha'bi Misr, blessed be Egypt, my people. I'm Nermin Azim, God bless the world. We'll see you again next week.